I celebrate you, you celebrate me. With our hand in hand, we are walking in our destiny. Come on and let me sing it. Yeah, celebration time. Ooh, yeah, yeah, it's a celebration.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for joining us. It is a great day to be alive here in the great city of, I call it, all-American Tupelo, Mississippi. Good morning, Mr. Mayfield. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Doing wonderfully well. Thank you for joining me. You know, I think about life in itself. There are times when we have trials, tribulations, but in the midst of that, God does have a way of bringing us out.
Oh, he's good.
All the time he's good.
Yes.
I want to start by saying congratulations. We salute you. You are now author of To Be Born Black in Mississippi. What prompted your heart to begin on this journey?
Well, actually, it's a mission that I started many years ago, and finally got the time and the inspiration to finish it. We started in 2009 and worked on it for 2 years, and finally got it completed and published it in December, actually, of last year.
Okay, well, once again, we say, you know, a salute. We're extremely proud, and we're going to actually tour this step by step because I want them to know that the process has not been easy. You're a very successful businessman, you know, owner, you're a civil rights lawyer. You really, you know, in the eye of the community, it seems like, as the world will say, you have it going on. But it's been a process. Now you're an author, it's been a process. And God has just really done some great things in your life, and you are being a blessing to those that are around you. So again, we want to say thank you. But let's go back in time. You were born in Oklahoma, Mississippi.
Oklahoma, Mississippi is what I claim. Actually, I was born in Pontotoc County, which is right across the county line, but we've always claimed Oklahoma as our home.
How was your childhood?
I was reared in a large family. I have 5 siblings, actually 1 sister and 4 brothers. I'm the second of the 6. And so as a result really of a tragedy in our family, when I was 9 years old, my father was killed in an automobile accident. So my oldest brother and I actually became pretty good workers at a young age because our family didn't have a lot of material possessions, so we were like out on the farm. And so we were like brought up just working hard and helping my mother.
And with that being said, so now you can see the fruit of your labor, you know, how
Very
God...
much so, yes, very much so. At the time, we, you know, our situation, I guess it was kind of difficult, but you know how it is, you adjust to your circumstances.
Yes,
and so we adjusted, and we were brought up in a very happy home environment, and I compliment my mother so much for it because looking back over the years, I mean, I realized what she had to go through, but she shielded us well enough from what she was going through that we lived a very good, stable upbringing.
I love how you said even in the midst of that you were happy.
Yes.
Because you can have worldly possessions and not have the peace or not be happy at all. So you're working college. Did you ever think or believe that you would go to college?
Yes. Now, my mother emphasized education at a very young age. So we would like, it was like not even an option, I guess, when I came up, that we had to go off to college. So my oldest brother went off to Jackson State when he graduated from high school, and when my turn came, I decided I wanted to go to Ole Miss.
And that's where the journey began.
Yes, very much so.
Let's talk about Ole Miss. Memories. I think I read where there was a 1-year suspension because of something that you wholeheartedly believed in.
Yes.
Share with us, how did that transpire?
Well, to begin with, when I started Ole Miss, my mission was strictly to get a good education and to go on to law school. And somehow I felt that I had what was necessary to get in Harvard Law School at the time. And so I go to school up at Ole Miss and decide to just study as hard as I can. In finishing high school or going through high school, I really did not apply myself as well as I should have.
Yes,
I was an honor student, but I could have done much better in high school. But I decided when I went to Ole Miss, no playing around, no kidding, but seriously pursuing this career and going on to Harvard Law School.
Why did you choose law? Out of all the professions, why were you thinking law at such a young age?
You know, and I think as best I could trace it, it went back to the early years of TV. Actually, we did not have a TV until after my father was died in this automobile accident. Mm-hmm. But we would go to my grandmother's house to watch TV, and I can remember these different shows, and they would be Pyramid Masons and the hospitals. Yeah, it would have basically medical programs and law programs is what we watched. And I didn't like the medical field because mainly, I don't know, I guess I saw these shows and I saw the doctors wearing white shoes. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the white shoes. I said, no, I like the way the lawyers dress, you know. So
yes,
what a way to choose a profession, but that's basically what kind of steered me to the legal profession, was dress.
Wow. So with that being said, Ole Miss, University of Mississippi is considered one of Mississippi's finest law schools.
Yes.
And so you were attracted to Ole Miss. You're there. Yeah. You're saying, I'm going to work, no horse playing around, get this degree, and become successful.
Yeah, and it was not Ole Miss Law School that pulled me to Ole Miss. It was an undergraduate. But I felt like Ole Miss, I don't know at the time, I thought Ole Miss was one of the best schools or universities in the country. Mm-hmm. And I'd heard that James Meredith had trouble getting in there, and they fought him so hard, so I said, it must be good, you know, if they didn't want him to go there. So that was really my motivation to go to Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. My mother discouraged the Ole Miss and encouraged me to go to Tupelo College or Jackson State or some other predominantly black school.
Of course. You know what? We're going to come right back because I want to take them step by step of how the person that we see today, how it was birthed out of just the one step of going to Ole Miss, and God began to say, there's more.
All right.
I know you're being blessed. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Have you been injured in an automobile accident? The Mayfield Law Firm has over 35 years of experience handling auto accident cases. The first appointment is free, and you pay nothing unless we win your case.
Hello, I'm Kenneth Mayfield with the Mayfield Law Firm. We have the experience, our service is superb, and our reputation is stellar. Why sell for less when you can afford the best?
Call the Mayfield Law Firm, with offices in Tupelo and in Memphis. Convenient free parking at both locations.
Attention Mississippi and surrounding areas. It's the $39 vehicle acquisition event at Car City Used Car Superstore in Tupelo. If you've got just $39 to put down, you can take over payments as low as $79 a month and drive the vehicle of your dreams today during our grand opening celebration. Our big selection means a price and payment to fit any budget. Every make, every model with guaranteed credit approval. We say yes. You're approved. Drive away today. $39 down and take over payments as low as $79 a month at Car City in Tupelo, where you come first.
Hi, my name is Trinity and I'm inviting you to come join the Jamie Tubbs Show Monday through Friday on the CW Network. See you there.
Now let's jump back into this. Okay, here we go. Let's go back in time. Memories.
All right.
Ole Miss. What comes to your mind?
Mostly I think about demonstrations and confrontations that we had at Ole Miss. During my first year, things went kind of smoothly, and we really didn't get too involved in the uprisings and the demonstrations. Mm-hmm. But my second year was dominated with demonstrations and protests.
Overwhelming?
Yes. Actually, we had a young black law student who came to the university in January of 1970, mm-hmm. and he kind of raised our conscience level. We were kind of engaged in our daily activities, not thinking about the civil rights movement at mm-hmm. the time, really. And he came in and started calling meetings and talking about what we could do to change things. Mm-hmm. And one thing kind of led to another. before we finished, we were going to the cafeteria, protesting, taking over the cafeteria. And one night we decided to go to Fulton Chapel, where a group called Up With People was performing that particular night. It's an international, interracial singing group. And we thought this would be an opportune time to get our message out to the world. Ole Miss knew we were protesting, but the world didn't know it. So we went to this event because we knew there would be members of the press there, particularly at least from Memphis. And we went into this event this night, we were about 60 plus, and actually at that time it was less than 100 black students on campus. So we went into the event and went on stage with the group as the cameras were rolling, and commenced our protest, demanding justice at Ole Miss. When I entered there, I thought nothing of the fact that we didn't have any blacks on the football team or basketball team, or no black professors or black studies program. But after this particular law student came in and raised our conscience level, we all became, well, wait a minute, why do we not have blacks in these various positions? So we were there protesting that, and that particular night, they called the highway patrol in and the local police and arrested all of us, charged us with disorderly conduct. We were taken to jail and had to post a bond, $500 apiece, in order to get released. And most of us at that time didn't have $500, nor did we have parents who could send $500 to post a bond. So we stayed in jail until the community rallied some support and came in, and some local people actually posted our bond.
Well, what were the words of your mother?
I didn't talk to my mother about this. I didn't call my mother. I didn't.
You didn't want to hear her say?
No. You have to know my mother. No, I was hoping she didn't hear about it.
So you're in jail. Are you having regrets? What did I get myself into?
No regrets. We felt like the whole world now knows about our situation, our plight. Our mission is accomplished. The world knows what's going on at Ole Miss now. So we got out of jail fairly uplifted that we on our way to correcting the situation at Ole Miss. And we were kind of dealt some severe setbacks when it was announced that we were put out of school. We assumed that we would probably get with a smack on the hand, probation, whatever, something like that. But we had no idea that we'd get kicked out of school.
Wow. You're suspended.
Yep, suspended for 1 year. And at the time, this is during the Vietnam War was at its high point. And many of us were eligible for the draft. Young folks nowadays don't know about the draft, but the drafting days during the time of the Ole Miss incident, we were actually given numbers, lottery numbers they call it. So every male would get a number at the age of 18 as soon as you registered for the draft. And unfortunately for me, my number was a low number. You get a number from 1 to 365. And depending on how low your number was, your chance of being drafted was increased. So I had a number 61, which means my chances were excellent of getting drafted and sent to Vietnam. So if you get kicked out of school, of course you lose your deferment and you go to the Army. So it was very critical on my part that I not get out of school because I lose my classification. And so it was a lot on my mind at that particular moment in time. This was a life-changing type event as we got kicked out of school, and then I got a letter saying that my classification was changed and I was eligible for the draft, and the local draft boards were controlled by local folks, and they knew what was going on at Ole Miss, so I knew I was headed to Vietnam.
But that life-changing event actually is why I believe I'm looking at the wonderful man that I'm looking at right now. Because from there, you went to Tupelo College.
Absolutely. We appealed through the courts. First of all, the university put us out of school, so we went to federal court. initially they put us back in for a few months, and in the final hearing, they upheld the university. And so we appealed to Tupelo College. Actually, we were able to talk to the president of the college. He had heard about our, experience at Ole Miss, and he invited us to apply there. And his words were something to this effect: I can't promise you that you'll be admitted to Tupelo College because it's going to be based on, your academic record. He said, but I can promise you we won't stop you from coming to Tupelo because of what happened at Ole Miss.
That was wonderful to hear.
That was wonderful, wonderful news to us.
I can imagine.
Yes.
But you were an honors roll student prior to.
Yes.
So academically, you were like, check, I have that.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
All right, I'm just sitting really like a sponge absorbing because I'm 36 years of age, but there are things that I don't know. And I'm sitting just listening saying, I thank God that you accepted the challenge. I thank God that you went, through the trenches to make sure that African Americans would be able.
Well, I'm just thankful to God for using me as he did in that situation. I didn't understand it all at the time, but as I look back over the years, I'm very blessed and thankful for it.
And we're thanking you on today. We'll be right back.
Stuck in a lease? Car payment too high? Interest rate killing you? We can help at Carlock Kia in Tupelo. Making weekly payments? Feel like you're never going to pay off your vehicle? Carlock Kia can make a difference. With our Loan Modification Help Center, Carlock Kia will refinance your loan even if you didn't buy from us, giving you a lower interest rate and a lower payment. We can help regardless of the brand of vehicle that you're driving. Our refinance experts are standing by now. The Loan Modification Help Center, only at Carlock Kia in Tupelo, where everybody rides.
Tired of trying to get Social Security disability on your own? The Mayfield Law Firm has over 35 years of experience handling civil cases. The first appointment is free, and you pay nothing unless we win your case.
Hello, I'm Kenneth Mayfield with the Mayfield Law Firm. We have the experience, our service is superb, and our reputation is stellar. Why sell for less when you can afford the best?
Call the Mayfield Law Firm, with offices in Tupelo and in Memphis. Convenient free parking at both locations.
Attention Mississippi and surrounding areas. It's the $39 vehicle acquisition event at Car City Used Car Superstore in Tupelo. If you've got just $39 to put down, you can take over payments as low as $79 a month and drive the vehicle of your dreams today during our grand opening celebration. Our big selection means a price and payment to fit any budget. Every make, every model with guaranteed credit approval. We say yes. You're approved. Drive away today. $39 down and take over payments as low as $79 a month at Car City in Tupelo, where you come first.
Why I became a civil rights leader.
Well, after we were, I say kicked, I use the word loosely, but kicked out of Ole Miss, it calls for some serious soul searching. Actually, there were times when I felt that the Black Panthers had the answer to our problems here, the problem with African Americans in this country, and particularly in the state of Mississippi. I actually was convinced at one time that we should take up guns and arm ourselves and by any means necessary, not realizing that Dr. Martin Luther King had really a much better solution at the time. So I was very, very, very militant at one time, so much so that we looked for buildings to burn. I mean, we were, really into the movement in a very radical type way. And after we were kicked out of school and I went to Tupelo College, that's when I started settling down a little bit and thinking more rationally. And so Tupelo gave me that opportunity, and I'm very thankful now that I look back on it that I was kicked out of Ole Miss, because I'm afraid if I stayed up at Ole Miss, my life would have turned out a bit differently. So Tupelo gave me a chance to kind of look back, reflect rationally, and that's when I decided that I'm going on to law school, I'm going to get my degree, and I'm going to be a civil rights lawyer, and I'll be back here to work on this system. So that was the goal that I had in mind. I said, I'm leaving. After I finished Tupelo College, I went to University of Michigan, got my law degree, and I was dead set. I'm coming back to Mississippi. Nothing's going to change that. So when my buddies went to General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler, real popular at that particular time in the early 70s, and African American attorneys were in demand up in those places. But I chose to come back here to finish actually what I started.
But when you returned, that same anger and the memories, did it resurface again?
You know, and that was kind of interesting because during the 27 months that I was away, it had subsided. I mean, the anger and all, really, I thought it was gone. So I guess it became dormant. But as I came back to Mississippi and I started experiencing some of the same racism that had led to my suspension from Ole Miss, then it started reigniting. And gradually, by the time I made it to Tupelo in 1974, it had fully reignited by that time. I had experienced a problem trying to get my office situated in Tupelo. And I was told that there was a vacant building on Main Street, and I went to the building, inspected it, thought it would make me a nice little office, and I was rejected. And the white lady who was in charge of the building at that particular moment in time was very, I would say, disrespectful to me. You could tell, you could feel that she was trying to do all she could to discourage me. There were no blacks, of course, in the building at the time. So she refused to even show me the available facility. And I said nothing was available. I didn't argue with her. I just confirmed it, and she said, no, nothing is available. I said, well, somebody told me you had some offices available. She says, well, who told you that? I said, well, that doesn't matter. She said, we don't have anything.
How are you feeling at that point when you know that there's a vacancy?
I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry like I did at Ole Miss. I mean, I was literally angry at the time. And unfortunately for me at the time, I was not involved in church. Okay, I had gotten away from that part, so I didn't have that to kind of calm me down, you know. So I rushed from Tupelo back to Jackson, Mississippi, went on the old IBM typewriter before the computer days, and I literally typed out a lawsuit against the owner of that building, and within days I had them in federal court.
Wow. What was the outcome?
After I filed a lawsuit, they served the papers on the owner, and he contacted a local African American leader who called me up and said he was interested in working out a settlement. So the next weekend or so after this, I came back to Tupelo, met with the owner of the building, and we worked out an agreement.
Wow.
He says that the person that was the property manager didn't quite understand. And the fact is the offices were not ready at that point in time for a tenant to move into. They needed some renovation, in other words. But they were accepting applications, and she simply just didn't want me to
It was
apply.
obvious.
Yeah,
it was
just wasn't
obvious.
matter. So I moved into the very office building. He worked out a nice little arrangement for me, gave me a 2-year commitment at a good rental rate that I was very well pleased with. So we resolved that lawsuit, the first lawsuit that I filed, and it was resolved successfully.
How did you feel as an African American male when it was resolved successfully? How did you feel, and not having to resort to violence or being able to control the anger?
Oh yeah, I feel like this is going to work. I mean, I was so uplifted on this one. I mean, this is civil rights working within the framework of the law. I said this is going to work. And so I was quite motivated as a result of that.
So now, are you seeing Tupelo? Are you seeing Mississippi differently? Like, okay, I can work here. I can be successful. I can make it. How are you? What's going on?
What am I thinking?
Yes.
At that point in time, there's a lot of work to be done. That's what I'm thinking. And but you know what? This can work. Dr. Martin Luther King and his idea of nonviolence and working within the framework of the law, I said, this can actually work. So that's the way I was feeling. And so I was just anxious for any civil rights case to come into my office and let me use my legal training and the arm of the law to fight this case.
Mm-hmm. You were excited.
Yes, very much so.
With that being said, can you look into the camera and just talk to someone who's still angry right now? They still have that bitterness, and you're like, they won't budge. You've been there. You know how it is. Speak life into them right now.
Well, what we have to look at is where we've come from. And that's what's important to me. If we look at where we have come from as a people, as a nation, and then there is so much hope now. If we look at where we've come from in the state of Mississippi since the 1970s, it's hard to believe. It was hard for my children to believe what we had to go through. Many have said, I wouldn't have accepted that, for example.
Yes, sir.
But those of us who've been through it realize that we made so much progress. To live to see today that we have an African American president, it's just incredible.
Change has come.
Yes.
Change has come. Where can we purchase To Be Born Black in Mississippi? We want a copy.
We have a site online,
Okay.
KennethMayfield.com, and the book can actually be purchased on that website. We have copies locally here at our office at the Mayfield Law Firm.
And you're located?
106 West Franklin Street, Tupelo.
Wonderful. The purchase price.
It's online. It's $18.95. If a person comes by the office, we offer them at $15 autographed if they would drop by the office.
Awesome, awesome. Now I have to say this because you have just relocated and got another office. God has blessed again in Memphis, Tennessee, is it?
Yes.
Well, congratulations. Did you ever think you would be expanding outside of Mississippi?
I really didn't. That was a recent development, this idea of going up to Memphis, Tennessee. But we are quite excited about it. We have a nice office downtown Memphis in a very, very good building, a good location that has convenient parking for us. And we're actually open right now. We have a soft opening and we're going to go full steam beginning September.
Wonderful. Well, once again, I thank you so very much for joining me on
Thank
this
you.
morning. It's been a pleasure and an honor having you, and I've learned a lot, and I know you have as well. But if you want to learn more, please come by the office and purchase a copy, $15 autograph, correct?
Yes.
And we're right here on West Franklin Street. I love you all so very much. God bless you, and I'll see you next time on the Tammy Tubbs Show. Until then, be blessed.